Hello, and thank you for tuning in. You are tuned in to The Encourager. Happy 4-3 to you, 24. I hope your day is off to a good start. And woke up this morning and got to work on whatever that is that you're needing to get to work on today. So, welcome in new listeners, and again, thank you, subscribers. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Nehru. This is The Encourager. We exist for the sole purpose of raising the vibration of the earth, and we do that through our own individual lives. We do not do that by controlling others. We do not do that by manipulating others. We do not do that by stealing, cheating, killing others. We do not do it those ways. The ways that we do it is by following our intuition, by being in alignment, by knowing the energies to receive and the energies to reject, by understanding that seasons come and go, and there's a time to laugh and there's a time to cry. Okay? Understanding the ebbs and flows. There's a time for the sunshine and there's a time for the moon. They both have a purpose, and they both serve their purposes in their own portals with their own energy. Okay? And so what I want to talk about briefly is the for the collective. And that's those of you who know, again, not that you do everything right, but you know your heart is pure, your hands are clean, you know that you do not do witchcraft against others, you know that you have unconditional love, you know that you are 10 times out of 10, you've been the doormat, you've been the black sheep, you've been the outcast, you've been the one set aside, you're the one they do the witchcraft against. If you are that individual, and when I say they, your family, friend, former friends, frenemies, any of those people, right? Lovers, what have you, right? So when that is the case, then you know for sure that you are functioning in a higher energy than those who are around you, okay? So, want to talk briefly about what the divine masculines and the divine feminines have been going through. Let's say over the last, most of us have been going through it since 2018, 19, maybe some in 17. Okay. So, which again is interesting that Most High is having me share my journal that covers the first 3 years of the last 10 years. Okay. And so that's 13 through 17. We are actually nearing the end of that journal. And I shared that journal, or, those are journal writings, entries, whatever you want to call them. I share them on this channel. And so we're nearing the end of that journal that ended in 2017. The one that I started for 2018, I am actually currently finishing up writing. It's a much larger journal. And I haven't written in it as often over the last 4 years as I have in other readings. But you can see here, these are the pages that are left in the journal that I'm writing in now. So it's almost done. All right. So so what the divine masculines and divine feminines have been going through. And just as a reminder, it's been a while since I've mentioned divine feminines or divine masculines, and I've gotten several more subscribers since then. So just to catch everyone up in regards to what I'm talking about when I speak of feminine and masculine energies, as a reminder, we all have both masculine and feminine energies. Okay. The trick is to try to, or the lesson is to balance both of those at the highest level. And this is why I say our goal is to live our highest, purest, truest version of ourselves. Okay. So we can only do that when we have our masculine, amongst other things, when our masculine energy and our feminine energies are balanced out. Okay. So what's the difference between a feminine and a masculine, and then a divine feminine and a divine masculine? What's the difference? Okay, so the difference between a divine feminine and a feminine is and it's not sex, it's not male female. Okay, because a female is a female. Okay, a woman, right? A girl is a female. Okay, but anyone can be feminine, right? And so, so with that. Okay, so a divine feminine energy, okay, is someone who is functioning in their higher self, okay? Someone who is giving unconditional love, someone who is giving of themselves, someone without expecting anything back, someone who is loving, someone who is caring and nurturing and supportive and a cheerleader for everyone, and that sort of that's divine feminine. Okay. Also, on the feminine side, the feminine energy is the energy that is the nurturer, or more of the nurturer than the masculine, whether the masculine is divine or not. Okay. And so, just like in the natural, the woman tends to be the more nurturing individual when looking at the man and the woman on earth, right? Just the same spiritually, that is the case. Again, the ideal parent, the ideal adult, has a very nice balance of masculine and feminine energies, right? I remember I had a friend, my friend Marcia, she once called me a metrosexual. And I'd never even heard that term before. And no one's ever called me that since. But she called me that, and I asked her, I was like, what is that? Right? And then she's, well, it's a guy that takes care of himself, a guy that would probably get his nails done. He takes care of his skin, and he cares about how he's dressed, and he grooms himself well. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, then. Well, if that's what that is, yep, that's what I am, right? Because I take care of myself, right? And even on the camera, if you see my nails and they're dirty, I clean my nails probably every day at some point, just about every day. And so probably at some point after I filmed a video or whatever, I would end up cleaning my nails, because I'm just that way with myself, right? So if that's what they call that, fine, right? I don't mind. I like grooming myself. I like taking care of myself. I like making sure my toenails aren't cutting through my socks. You know, I like that. So anyway, so spiritually speaking, it is much the same. And again, the goal is to be the balance. So if you are a divine masculine or a divine feminine, okay, you offer this unconditional love. You have a great work ethic. You might even be by some considered a workaholic. You don't do it to hide behind things or anything. You do it just because that's your level of dedication. You give to others. If you are a divine feminine or a divine masculine, you probably overgive, and that's something that you've probably had to manage over time as you've learned about being this loving, unconditional, giving individual. Okay, so some other things. Again, I mentioned being an outcast. Okay, so my family, certainly on the sperm donor side, they've had family reunions that I wasn't invited to. He told the family he didn't know where I was. Why? Because he didn't want me involved, because he knew who I was, and he knew I was his adversary. Right? And he knew for a fact that if I'm coming against, and this is, for him and I, this checks off so many things. So I'm a Sagittarius sun, he's a Gemini sun. Okay? So I am a divine feminine with unconditional love. He is a warlock that has been doing spell work against people and has been a polygamist for 30-something years before getting locked up and being sentenced to 44 to 66 years. He is the exact opposite of who I am. The exact opposite. Okay? And so when we look at get away from when we get away from the penis and the vagina, when we get away from those things, okay, and we understand that we both carry those energies, and then we need to find out where our strength is, and that's the only difference between defining a divine masculine or divine feminine or a feminine or a masculine, is what strength are they functioning in the most? What energy are they functioning in the most? Okay, so I have masculine and feminine energies, right? My feminine energies is the one that caters to my grooming of myself, okay? That's the one that has me interested in what's a good facial skincare product for a man. Why? Because I don't want to look like the men who don't take care of themselves when I get to whatever age they're at, okay? And so I do these things because I enjoy doing these things, because I like taking care of myself. Physically, spiritually, mentally. I read more self-help books than anything else. I read more information on a daily basis about who I am and learning about who I am and who we really truly are than anything else. Okay? Because that's where my heart is. That's where my truth is. That's the road that I am to walk as I go on this journey of healing the nations. Okay, by sharing the truth that Most High guides me to share, whether my mind has understanding of that or not. And most of the time, it does not. Okay, I say things all the time that are wild to me, and I go look up and in. I'm just confirming what Most High just had me say. It happens all the time. Okay, so here's a warning, divine masculines and divine feminines. Okay, here is a warning. The enemy is about to come back for another round. Divine masculines and divine feminines. The enemy is about to come around, about to show up for another round. What do I mean? What am I talking about? Depending on where you are in your journey, if you've walked away from the individuals who meant you no good, some of these individuals are going to start to show up again, or at least attempt to come back into your energy. I'm going to tell you right now, if you have not already sealed that door, barricaded that door, if you have not already done that spiritually to everyone that you walked away from as you were guided by Most High, as you're being guided by Holy Spirit, if you have not barricaded that door, if you have not rolled the stone back in front of the cave entrance, if you have not done that, you're running out of time. Just like the enemy's running out of time for repentance and correction, you're running out of time. 3 barks from the dog. Woo, woo, woo. Confirmation. So, again, divine masculine and divine feminine. If you have walked away from things, people, places, you've relocated, you've done the work to get you to where you are today, and you know you are on your purpose journey, the enemy is about to show up and test you. The enemy is about to show up on your doorstep, at your job, wherever, at the church, if you still go to church, at the grocery store, in your mailbox, on your phone, in your email inbox, the enemy's about to show up. You're about to be tested. Why? Because you're that close to the promised land. How close? That close. So close you can't measure it in man's measurements. You're that close. The enemy's about to show up and attempt you again. We are in the midst of our Mercury retrograde, which started on April 1st, runs through April 24th. So that is 25 days for the enemy to use this window of opportunity to, with the moon magic, right? Because that's what the enemy does. The enemy does the moon magic. The enemy does the beauty spells, all of that stuff, right? And the enemy's been warned. Most High has told the enemy, you need to stop, even the ones that walked away from you. So let's talk about this for a minute. Okay, so let's talk about, since we're talking about divine feminines and divine masculines, so let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about the relationship aspect of this for a minute with the divine masculine and divine feminine. Okay, so divine masculine, divine feminine. If your divine masculine or divine feminine fell off the wagon, leave they ass. I'm going to say it again. If your divine feminine or divine masculine fell off the wagon and now they are a fallen angel, leave they ass back there. Don't go back there. Okay? Your purpose is not back there. Your opportunity is not back there. Your promise is not back there. Do not turn around. You're not going that way. Here comes the enemy with the test. Before you get to the door, Moses, here comes the enemy. So what are you going to do, Moses? Are you going to make the wrong decision based on emotions and then be exiled from entering into, or unable to, prohibited from entering into the promised land, Moses? Are you going to do something out of your emotions, Moses? What are you going to do? Because here comes the enemy with another invitation. Here it comes. Right? Here comes the enemy. Here comes the Scorpio, meaning death. That's what the Scorpio represents. Here comes Scorpio. What are you going to do? Here comes that death. What are you going to do? I wonder who that is. I'm getting a phone call from a John Baldwin. I don't know who that is. Maybe they'll leave a message. It's 18 minutes exactly on the clock. And so, and I always think for some reason when the phone rings that it can be heard on the other side, which I always remind myself that it can't. But whenever the phone rings, I always pause. It's like a automatic knee-jerk reaction to not talk while the phone is ringing. I don't know why, even though it doesn't ring on that side. You guys didn't hear a phone ring. So with this journey with the divine feminine and divine masculine, again, if they fell off the wagon, Most High either has someone else lined up for you or is leaving it up to you. And it's always left up to you. But what I mean is there may be no one in line for you. Most High just maybe leaving that up to you, right? As to whether or not you desire or don't desire, right? A soulmate or another soulmate to show up. Okay. So, if you are in that situation, no matter how healed you might feel, no matter how strong you might feel, do not go back. Do not turn around. Do not look at them. Do not try to find out what they're doing. Do not try to find out where they are. Do not try none of that. Because trust me, they're stalking you. Okay? Most High removed us from those situations for a reason. He had us in their lives as karma. so that they could know what unconditional love was, because most of them had not ever known what unconditional love was. So we had to show them. Okay? So when we showed them what unconditional love was, right, they became a kid in a candy shop and they couldn't do anything with it prosperously, right? They used it for their own gain. They used it that way, right? It's like giving the 15-year-old your hot rod and saying, it's a full tank of gas, go have fun. Like, how do you expect them to bring it back to you? You know what I mean? So it would take a mature person to bring it back still clean and you know, unscathed, right? So these individuals were not mature, even if they were originally someone who was given the opportunity to receive the one that they had prayed for, and that is you. If you are the divine feminine or you are the divine masculine, you are who they prayed for. They, again, just fell off the wagon. You have to let them go. Their journey is to walk their own journey. You can't live this life as if it's your only life. You can't live this life like that, because it's not. Okay? You can't live this life like, I'll never get another chance. You can't live your life like that, because there's always opportunity for another chance. That's something you have to manifest if that's what you desire. Because there's always, when it comes to relationships, there's always another woman and there's always another man. Always. Okay? So, just know that you get to take these lessons with you on your journey. You are mature, more mature for it, and so are they, whether they ever realize that or admit that or tell you that or not. You help them mature as well. Okay? When they decided to jump off the divine wagon and become a fallen angel, you help them because they know the truth. And if they don't know it today, they will know it as they sit alone at their house, in their jail cell, wherever they happen to land, right? They will know, in the grave, right? Who knows? They will know. And so they will take these lessons with them as we take our lessons with us. But don't turn around, divine feminine, divine masculine. Here comes the enemy with another temptation right before you get to the promised land. Okay? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Nehru. This is The Encourager. And as always, stay encouraged.